Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Saturday. It's Daryl here. It's not so bright and early anymore. It's 6 a.m. Not bright and early for me. It's 6 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Man, it is a busy morning. I'm trying, as you can see, I've got my hanging curls. I hang from those with my elbows and bring my feet up to the ceiling. It's been disrupted because this is going to be the third video I'm making this morning. And it's not just for the sake of making videos. I've gotten three, I wouldn't call them important, but three things I really want to discuss. This is interesting. This is another incident on a plane, and I'm going to try to recount the situation for you. The links will all be down below. I found as many links as I could from TikTok, from the Daily Mail, as much information as I could get about this incident. And it's interesting because of the tactic used by one of the passengers, actually getting some of the passengers to vote if they wanted a woman to be removed from the aircraft. And I'll talk a little bit my opinion on this. Okay, like I said, the links will be down below. There's a little information missing here. There's a couple. I'm going to use color to identify them. There's a black couple in the front of the plane. Well, you don't actually see the male. Supposedly they were moved on an earlier flight, like a connecting flight earlier, and they were moved to the front of the plane. And the male, this is the gist of what I get. The male ended up getting removed from the plane, and the female was left. Okay, then there's a Caucasian female further back that was upset that the black couple, the black woman, was upset. Then there's the man in the red shirt that goes for the vote. Okay, like I said, it starts off, you're seeing this incident from where the woman up front, the black woman, is upset. She's screaming. She's saying, why are you so invested in us? Because apparently the woman further back, the Caucasian woman, had been constantly making comments. This woman was upset. The black woman was upset because her partner was removed from the plane, and she didn't feel there was any justification for that. Now, we don't know what happened there. I can't find any video for what actually occurred there, but she's very upset. She believes it was unjust, and she's upset. The Caucasian woman further back is making comments, about the black woman and her being upset. Apparently, it appears that most of the plane got angry at the Caucasian woman for making the situation even worse. And you can't hear a whole lot what the Caucasian woman is saying, because I think once it became evident that they were going to vote to have her removed, that she kind of got quiet. You could hear her saying, "What did I do? What did I say?" And I get the feeling that she's putting on a different air there, trying to appear one way, when I have a feeling, because it seems like most of the plane was really upset with her. Then there's the guy in red that calls for a vote to have the woman, the Caucasian woman, removed from the plane, and she ends up being removed from the plane. Okay, like I said, you have to watch the video to get the gist of this. When I first watched it, I saw the black woman up front, swearing, being upset, and yelling. I thought it was her that was getting thrown off the plane. Like I said, you don't understand, because you're missing a little part of the story here, where her partner was removed from the plane. And you can't really hear how the Caucasian woman was constantly needling or making comments to the black woman or to behind her, which just inflamed the situation more. And then, like I said, then there's the guy in red. If it were up to me, the black woman swears and curses, and but she apologizes. You could hear a couple parents saying, "Look, could you try to cut out the swearing, because there's F-bombs going off everywhere." And you hear the black woman really sincerely apologize. She sincerely apologizes. They say the same thing to the Caucasian woman, and you can't really hear what she's saying. If it were me, if I was asked to vote on this, sincerely, I think I would have voted to have both of them taken off. I would. I don't know what the black woman's justification was for being so upset, but for peace of mind, the peace of mind of the entire aircraft, I think, like I said, I don't know what got the black woman so upset. Her standing up and screaming at the woman behind her, I don't know if that's ever a good thing to do. If it were up to me, I would have voted for both of them to be removed, so we could just get there could have been some peace of mind, some peace on the plane. Yeah, it depends. It depends because you can't hear what the Caucasian woman was saying, or how much she was going at it, or how much she was needling, how justified the black woman was in being upset that her partner was being thrown off. There's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts. Okay, here's something I've discovered. Like when you're in an argument like that, instead of yelling, I've used this tactic before, and it works remarkably well. Instead of like yelling and screaming at somebody, I would get very close to them. And a lot of times, like if I'm a possible altercation, and you got to be careful you don't get a sucker punch, but you get really close and you almost whisper. You whisper to them. You get that little crazy look in your eyes, and you kind of whisper, you're like, look, if you keep this up, I'm gonna, so and so. And I swear to God, it's amazing when you talk softly like that and just whisper to somebody one-on-one and just, basically tell them you better cut it or else, it's always worked remarkably well for me. One thing I got to say too is you got to watch out for headbutts. Getting your head, that's something a technique I've employed before, whispering and having somebody get closer, and then you just bam, and somebody could do that to you too. Okay, now here's the big point of the big point of this video. The guy calling for the vote. This is just interesting. It's democracy in action, but half the information is missing here. At first I thought it was good. It was cool. You're using democracy to bring peace and quiet and composure back to the aircraft, because you're all locked in. By the way, this was a flight from Trenton, New Jersey to Atlanta on Spirit Airways. This was back 5 days ago on Monday, I believe. The links will all be down below. But then I thought about this. This could have backfired very badly, the whole vote thing, the whole democracy thing, because initially you basically have one woman arguing and very upset with the other woman, basically. Oh, by the way, one man comes back and throws cash. I don't know if he was saying like he was giving her cash. He was just, I don't know how much it was, to get off the plane and take another flight. I guess that was his gist. Then she throws the cash back at him. And this is just inflaming the situation more. It really is. It's just theatrics. It's inflaming the situation. The yelling, the back and forth, it really is. I think we have to learn how to talk to each other. Another thing I've said in other videos too, one thing I've learned in my recovery is you can't change what other people are going to do. It's best off, not to appear meek or submissive, but just to let it go. You're not going to, by yelling and turning around and yelling more and it just makes the situation worse. People just become, if they're an ass to begin with, they become more of an ass. I found one of the best techniques. People are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to be what they're going to be. And it's best just to stay in your own zone within reason, because some people will take advantage of that. Okay, now getting back to the vote thing. This could have backfired, because this is what I thought. By calling for that vote, you initially had two people arguing, right? But by calling for that vote, you could have divided the plane up this is possible, into two factions. A faction for the woman staying, and a faction for the woman getting thrown off, or possibly for both of them getting thrown off, or one or the other being thrown off. I mean, you could have racially divided this plane. Possibly that could have been an outcome of this, and it potentially much worse, where you would have had instead of two people arguing, you would have had an entire aircraft, with two separate warring factions basically going on. So I at first I thought it was a good solution, good old democracy in action. But in this contained atmosphere, very high pressure, a lot of anxiety and everything going on, I think it could have quickly, that whole thing, a lot of things could set things off. A lot of things could be a potential fuse, but that whole vote, it could have made the situation worse. That's what I'm saying. It's an interesting video to watch. Democracy in action, I guess. The links will be down below. You guys have a great Saturday.